Welcome to our fourth video on 8-10 notes, and in this video we're going to learn how to come up with an activity series from experimental data. So in this particular example 10, we have some unknown metal and we're trying to figure out what this metal is. They drop the metal in hydrochloric acid and a reaction occurs. What do we know from that? That this unknown metal is more active than hydrogen. Then the metal's dropped in a solution of copper and a reaction occurs. What do we know? Well, that metal's more active than copper because if we see a reaction, that means that that metal is replacing the metal that was in solution. Solution means it's aqueous. The salt's pulled it apart. So this metal has replaced copper in the solution and copper would precipitate out. Nickel is then dropped in a solution containing the unknown metal and a reaction occurs. What do we know now? That nickel is more active than our unknown metal. So we have nickel more active than the metal, and we have the metal more active than both hydrogen and copper. What we don't know is copper more active than hydrogen? So if we're coming up with an activity series, most active is nickel, next most active is the metal, unknown, and then the unknown metal reacted with both copper and hydrogen ions, but we haven't determined if copper or hydrogen is more active if we're trying to establish a activity series. So what do we need to do? We could drop copper in a solution containing the hydrogen ions. So if we took hydrochloric acid and carefully, slowly added it to the water, because it's a highly exothermic reaction, that hydrochloric acid would dissociate into the hydrogen ions and the chloride ions. You always add a little bit of acid to a lot of water, not the other way. If a reaction doesn't occur, no reaction occurs. Well, if a reaction doesn't occur, we know the hydrogen ion is more active than copper. So we've now broke the tie. The most active was nickel. Second most active was the metal. Hydrogen, we learned in that fourth reaction, is more active than copper. So we've established our own activity series. If we look at the actual activity series, we would see that yes, nickel should be above hydrogen. Hydrogen should be above copper. So if we're looking at it, there's nickel, there's hydrogen, there's copper. What could our unknown metal be? It could be anything between nickel, it could be tin, it could be lead, because those are the two metals that are above hydrogen. But we don't know for sure which one it was. We would need to do further experimentation. But we would narrow it down to tin or lead. Now, we have this activity series right here. Assume a metal is one of the metals on the activity series above. So we have an unknown metal. It's on this list right here. What metal is it? Well, when that unknown metal is dropped in a solution of iron, a reaction occurs. So here's iron. If we drop the unknown metal in a solution of iron and a reaction occurs, we know that that metal has to be above iron. If we drop the metal in and a reaction didn't occur, then it would be below iron. Or it could be iron, because if you drop iron in a solution of iron, you wouldn't see a reaction. So the metal's more active than iron. The metal would be either chromium, zinc, aluminum, and magnesium, as it says right here, because we saw a reaction. Now, we drop the metal in a solution of aluminum. There's aluminum, and no reaction occurs. What can we conclude? Well, we knew the metal's either magnesium, aluminum, zinc, or chromium. If no reaction occurs when we drop aluminum in, we know the metal wouldn't be magnesium, because magnesium would react with all of those. If no reaction occurs, it would be underneath the aluminum. So it could be zinc or chromium. But if no reaction occurs when we drop aluminum in it, it could still be aluminum. So from this reaction, if the metal is less active than aluminum, it could be aluminum because aluminum can't displace aluminum, but it would have to be below aluminum, or it could be below aluminum as well. So that would narrow it to aluminum, zinc, and chromium. If we drop the metal in zinc and we see a reaction, if we drop the unknown metal in zinc and we see a reaction, we know the unknown metal is above zinc. We know it's not magnesium because when the metal was dropped in a solution of aluminum, it didn't react. If it was magnesium, it would have reacted. When we dropped the metal in zinc and we see a reaction, we know it's above zinc. That means the unknown metal must be aluminum. If you have any questions, that concludes the 8-10 notes. If you have any questions on 8-10, don't hesitate to contact me and ask those questions. And we will be using the 8-10 notes to complete 8-11 practice problems. So if you're having trouble with the 8-11 practice problems, that would be a great opportunity to go back and watch these videos or to ask questions directly to me. Good luck, and thanks for watching.